All right, everybody, welcome to session number 3 of the capital raising workshop. Today, we're going to talk about creating, excuse me, still have that cold, creating and modifying the components of that capital raising system that we have been building out and that I showed you on a high level last week. Today, we're going to go in and we're actually going to modify and maybe add a couple things and do some stuff like that. So the real work starts here. And because I am who I am, and I tend to add things all the time, I have added another session to this workshop. So there's actually going to be 5 sections. I will be talking about that in a second. Hold on a second. Ooh. All right. So what we're going to cover in the workshop, you've already seen session 1. We already covered session 2. Today, we're covering creating and modifying the components. So once again, I should have put second edit up here. I have added a 5th session, but it is going to be session number 4. And that's going to be creating your company structure, naming your company, and then creating your domain name for that company, which will allow you to have a business email, not some stupid Gmail, Yahoo, AOL, Ymail, all that stupid junk that nobody takes seriously. So we're going to be covering that next week. We'll put that in between getting investors through the system, which is the traffic. And knowing me and how much we have to cover for traffic, session 5 may actually end up into a session 6 as well, depending on how far we get through session 5. But we got a lot to cover in session 5. We got a lot to cover in today's session, but I think we can get everything covered today in the 2 hours that we have scheduled. May even be able to finish it in about an hour and a half if I can get through it in a efficient manner, if you will. In addition to session 4 coming in and kind of segues to session 4, if you saw the recording from last week, you also saw that I put in, and I don't know why that's on that page. Do I have it here? I don't have it here. Let's go here, the community. Let's click on the community and you will see, can you guys see my screen? Okay, it's pulling up the AcquisitionPRO community. I'll show you where the recordings are. So here's the capital raising workshop. So from the homepage, if you go to courses, it's down here, capital raising workshop, you will see that I have a bonus video in here called the legal side of syndication. Gene Trowbridge is a CCIM. He's also a syndication attorney, and he's been doing multifamily syndications for more than 40 years. I don't know any better person that can teach you the legal side of syndication. So this video, coupled with what we're going to cover next week, will help you in creating the entity name. Really, the goal of it on my end is that we get you guys a domain name, because you're going to want your first name at yourcompanyname.com, not at a Gmail address or something like that. So that's the purpose of that. All right, so that's why session 4 got added. That said, what are we going to cover today? Today, we got a lot of work to do. And when I say work, I mean actual work, not just education. The education really, there's no education today other than showing you the work you're going to have to do. So I'm going to show you how to add and modify the workflows. If you remember, we looked at workflows last week. Those are the actual automations inside of AcquisitionPRO. Modifying the email sequence for your investors, because you want to make it your own. Adding and modifying tags and triggers, and those are the the way that the workflows all flow together through those tags and triggers. Modifying your calendar. So believe it or not, you have a calendar in there. I don't know if you've noticed it or not, but it's there. So how to modify that calendar. Modifying the newsletter template. So I've given you, for whatever reason, capital raisers believe they have to have a stupid newsletter. People don't read newsletters. Well, let me just caveat this. People do not read newsletters. It's too much information. They don't care. They just delete it. But you're being told by gurus you must have it. So to satisfy everybody, I put a template in here. So we'll go over the template and how easy it is to modify it when you want to send out a newsletter, hopefully no more than once a month. You send in a newsletter more than once a month, you're going to have a lot of unsubscribes and people telling you you're crazy. Modifying landing pages, legal pages, and a website. We'll spend a little bit of time in that because honestly, it's pretty easy to do, but it'll get you guys going. The most important thing really is going to be those legal pages because of the A2P certification if you're wanting to get your A2P certification, which we are not going to cover today, by the way. And then, I say homework there, but along with modifying the landing pages, legal pages, and website, we're also going to talk about the forms for the landing pages. So let me add that here. Forgot to add that. So without the forms, there's no way to get them through our workflows. So it all starts there. All right. So that's what we're covering. Then we'll have a Q&A. Give you your homework, have a Q&A at the end. All right. So creating and modifying the components in the system. Well, that'll about do it for PowerPoint. It's time to actually go into AcquisitionPRO. So, there's that. All right. So let me come out of here, hit escape. I'm going to minimize this. Hey, Greg, what's going on? And we'll come back to that. There we go. And we are going to go here. All right. So first thing I want to cover is the automations, okay, the workflows. So from your dashboard, so when you first log into AcquisitionPRO, this is where you should be coming. So now we're going to come down to automation. And inside automation, you guys have all of these workflows already in here. If there is a workflow you want to create, let me see if I can give an example here. Let's say you want to create a workflow on somebody fills out your form for receiving the sponsor vetting checklist on your landing page, and you want to send them within the first 5 minutes of that happening, you want to send them a ringless voicemail on top of starting your email sequence. All right. So how the world are you going to do that? Well, we already have kind of a recipe in here that allows for that to happen, but let's just create this from scratch. So if we come up here to create workflow, there are workflows that are already in here. Okay. You've got ones coming from Facebook Messenger, from Google My Business Messages. You can do a list reactivation if you haven't been talking to your contacts for quite some time. You got somebody that doesn't show up for your calendar or your appointment. There's a no-show nurture sequence, webinar registration, review requests. There's a long-term nurture or reactivation email sequence. But the big ones here's your email drip sequence, which really this one and this one are pretty similar. The big ones here are this Fast 5. They both have the missed call, or not the missed call, the ringless voicemail in there. But let's just set it up from scratch. So we're just going to create a campaign from scratch. I just want to see. Appointment booking. Yeah. So I'm going to hit continue, and it's just going to bring up nothing. So what we're going to do is we got to add a trigger. Okay. So a trigger is something that your prospect did, some behavior. I like to call this whole system behavior response marketing. Based on the behavior of our prospect, we want to send them in a direction that will get them to take action on something that can benefit them and us. All right. So that's behavior response marketing. So to create a trigger, we usually use tags to create that trigger. So our trigger in this case is going to be our web form that they filled out. So let's go down and find form submitted. So we click form submitted. Now we add a filter, form is, and select the form. Okay, so let's say it's from your link tree, which is same as your website from what I'm going to show you today. Okay, you hit save trigger. So now we have a trigger. All right. From here, we want to add an action. So they fill out the form. First thing we want to do is a delay. So I think it's called delay. Nope, it's not called. Oh, it's called wait. Okay. So first thing we want to do is add a wait, and we want to wait 5 minutes. All right. So it's a time delay. That's all this is. Save action. So now we have our wait. Now we want to add our next. So when somebody submits a form, they're going to wait 5 minutes. Then let's see. Let's see if I can find it here. Voicemail. There it is. So what you can do is you can upload an MP3 file. Now I don't have one to upload, but you would upload that MP3 file. I don't think I have any kind of, let me see, so I can show this. So maybe I have something in here because they do audio files. Whoops, wrong one. eCampus. Let's see. Did I have it in here? Nope, not that one. Oh, I know where I want to go. Instructor assignments 2023 Ward building. Nope, not August, May. Oh, okay. I thought I left the MPEG files in there. Anyway, I'm not going to go look for an MP3 file, but you could put up an MP3 or a WAV if it's, I think Mac does waves or whatever they do, WAV files. But you can upload that. And what this is a ringless voicemail. So what'll happen is it'll wait 5 minutes. And then I don't know if it'll let me save it because I didn't put anything. Yeah, it won't because I didn't put anything in there. But what it'll do is it will then send them a ringless voicemail, whatever you want that voicemail to say. So it might say, hey, this is David Monroe with AcquisitionPRO. I see that you just downloaded or requested to download the sponsor vetting checklist. Were you able to download that checklist? Okay. Would love to hear what you think about it. You can text me at 251-508-0010 or send me an email at david@davidmonroeccim.com. Look forward to further communication with you. Something like that. Okay. So that's how you can add a workflow. And then you just come up here and you just name this workflow. Would be called ringless voicemail, or we could say 5-minute ringless voicemail. Okay. And then you just save the workflow. So we're saving as draft because you can't publish it because we didn't do this other thing. All right. So that's how easy it is to add a workflow. All right. Do you guys catch that? Any questions on how to add a workflow? There's something in chat here. Yeah, yeah, Greg, I told you about those Macs, man. All right, no questions. All good. Yep, roger that. All right. Okie dokie. So that's how you add a workflow. Same thing, you can modify a workflow. So here we have, well, let's look at add schedule appointment tag. So if I come down here, one of the things we've done is I've created a tag for when somebody books an appointment. Maybe you don't want this tag. So here's the trigger. So the trigger is in calendar, somebody booked this appointment. So when that happens, we want to add a tag to them. So I've called the tag scheduled appointment, but maybe you want to change it to something else. So all you have to do is hit that X and then just type it in and then hit add new tag, and that will be the new tag for it. So that's how you can modify this. Okay. Now, what does this do? So add schedule appointment. What happens is that that tag becomes a trigger. So our initial trigger was somebody booked an appointment. And then based on that trigger, we added a tag, scheduled appointment. Now that tag becomes a trigger. And so it's now going to trigger the appointment reminder sequence. So here's your appointment confirmation reminder. So if we come up here to tag, well, here's the appointment. Okay, well, it didn't trigger. That was from the appointment again. Did I lie to you? Where's my appointment? Appointment confirmation reminder. We added the tag. Why did we add that tag? Oh, the reason we added the tag was so we could end the email sequences. But then my goal for those email sequences wasn't working right, so I deleted it. So that's why that tag was added. But you can create tags from a trigger to become a trigger for another event. Okay. That's pretty easy to do inside this system. So let's go to the investor workflow. Let's talk about actually modifying what you need to do here. So the triggers here is the form investors, which on your landing page, your investor landing page that you have, where they can download the sponsor vetting checklist, that triggers this workflow. If they fill out that form, it triggers this workflow. The other trigger is that same form only on your Linktree website. So if they fill out the form that's on the link, that's already defaulted on the Linktree website, it will trigger this same workflow. All right. So if you don't want this workflow to be triggered by these forms, you want to trigger it some other way, you can just add new workflow trigger. And if I type in tag, then add filter, tag added. So if a tag was added and whatever that tag is going to be, say passive investors, then and hit save trigger, now I have another trigger that will trigger this. Now I don't actually want this one in there, so I'm going to delete this. Okay. So to modify this, what it's saying is the first name is really just what the subject line is. You maybe want a different subject line because subject lines are your hook. You want to hook them to stop to actually read that email. So when they see that subject line, one of two things are going to happen. Well, one of three things. They're either not going to read the email, they're going to delete it, or they're going to read the email. A fourth one could be they mark it as spam, but let's hope they don't do that. Okay. So then you come down here and now you can read what is here. The download link is already here. If I go to this link, there is the link. It is sitting on my server. You don't have to worry about it. The lead magnet's already there. You don't have to worry about creating a new lead magnet. If you do want to create a new lead magnet and you need a place to upload that file, whether it's an ebook, whether it's a checklist, whether it's a video. If it's a video, you can just put the video link, either put the video on Vimeo or YouTube. I wouldn't recommend YouTube because they can get shiny object syndrome and go off into YouTube land. Where in Vimeo, you can stop them from going off into Vimeo land, where it only shows the video. Now, you may have to have Pro for that. I don't know if you do or not. I've had Pro for years, so I don't know if the free version allows you to remove the Vimeo branding on it, which allows them to go get shiny object syndrome. You just have to test it and see. But you put that link to the video, or you can download, and I'll show you where to upload the file here in a minute, and then get the link that you can put here. So this may not say what you want it to say, so you can come in here and just edit any of this information. Okay, these custom values, all right, they're right here. What this allows you to do is you are the user. So you're in here doing this. You're sending this. If it was one of your VAs or one of your employees, whoever created this workflow, they are the one that is going to get the email. The user that created this, that's what user email is. So if you send me an email and it will automatically insert your email address in there that is defaulted in the system for your user. Or text me and whatever phone number you have in the system, it will automatically pull that phone number in here. Or schedule a 20-minute call on my calendar and that will go pull your calendar and put that calendar link in here. And then your user email signature is when you are in settings and you go to my staff and you find your name, because I had to create you as a staff member when I created your accounts. If you go to the user and you pull that information down, right below your first name, last name, email, phone number is your signature. So that's where you modify this signature. Right now, it just has your name and your title is multifamily investor. That's all it is right now. But you can go in and modify that. All right, and I'll show you where to do that in a second. So that's how you modify this. If you don't want the wait is 7 days, make sure you always, after you modify, you hit save action. I didn't modify anything. And if you do hit save action, then you need to save up here. All right. Anytime it's got that little green dot, it means you've done something. You need to save it. And of course, you got to make sure it's published. If right now all the waits are set for 7 days, because that's what I have found has worked the best. It can be 1 day. It can be a month. It can be whatever you want it. So all you have to do to edit this is just change this information right here. Okay. No big deal for delays, but that's how you modify this. You can add more email messages. I think there's even a duplicate. Let's see. Copy. There it is. So I can copy, like if I wanted to do right here, and I can say, whoops, not comment. From the wait and this, I can copy all actions from here. And now it added another wait and another email. I think. Should have. Oh, I got to put where it's going to go. Haha. So then once you do that, you put where you want it. I want it right there. So now you can see wait, depreciation, capital gains, wait, depreciation, capital gains. Okay. So that's how you can continue more and set it up where you're copying it so it's less work for you to do. You just now modify it. If you want to delete a section, again, click those, hit delete. Now, if you just want to delete the wait, then you just delete the single action. But if you want to delete everything below the one, and I mean everything below the one you clicked on, then you go delete all actions from here. Okay, but that will remove everything below it. So make sure you're careful not to do that. All right. Any questions on how to modify this? So I need to go show you where your signature is. And what was the other one I was showing you? Oh, how to upload a file so that you have the link.
David, since you're on there that screen right there, I got a quick question. In addition to the editing their email signature, is there a way to insert like a header to those emails, or you have to do that individually? Like,
So there is, and when we get into the newsletter, I'll show you where it is. But that's what these templates are.
okay, cool.
See, right now, all there is the investor template. So if I click that, it'll actually just pull in whatever is on that investor template.
Okay, cool.
So in order to see what that looks like, you'd have to send yourself a test email. It's not the best thing in the world to use, unfortunately, because there's no way to create just like a header and footer and that be the same for every one of your emails.
Right.
You actually have to go in and create every single email individually for that template, and it becomes a real big pain in the butt. Probably one of the only things I don't like about this system.
That was
honestly, the more junk you have in your email, images, headers, footers, all that stuff, the better chance it has of going to spam or promotions.
Oh, okay. Makes sense. Yeah. Thank you.
Any other questions while we're here in the email sequence? Sorry about that. All right. So let's go back to workflows, confirm. I don't want to change anything. All right. So file upload. If we go to sites and we come up here to media, you see where media is sitting right here. We click here, open media library. This will open everything you already have in here or nothing. And then right here is the upload file. So I can go here, and this is probably where I should have put the document in the first place. I can go here, internet acquisition. I think this is where I have this stuff. Let's see. Is the sponsor vetting checklist here? No, of course not. Oh, forms, tools, checklists. Nope, not there. Okay, let's go here. All right, well, I don't remember where I put it, but let's just say I want these chat GPT prompts up there. Hit open. Boom. There it is. Now, if I want the link to it so I can put that link in that email, I click on it, and you see this link up here? Okay, I click on it, highlight it, gives me my link right here, copy to clipboard. Hit back. Now I can go back to automations, go back to the investor workflow, download. There's my download. I highlight it, click the little link right here. And now instead of this, I paste in the new link. Okay. That's it. That's all you have to do. It's that easy. And then hit save. Now I'm not going to hit save because I don't want to send that chat GPT thing. I want the sponsor vetting checklist to be there. So that's how you do that. All right. For your, oh, and then another way to get to your media is right here. So click media, open library, same exact thing. So whether you go to sites to media or whether you go into settings to media, it's the exact same thing. All right. So from settings, so I'm in my settings right now. Here's my staff. Now I don't have anybody in here, but if I did, so if I go add employee, user info, you'll notice you'll have your name, first name, last name, your email, your phone, your password. Here's where you change your password. If you click reset password, it's going to create some kind of cattywampus thing that you're not going to understand what the hell it is. All you have to do is highlight the password that's here, type in the password you want, and then just come down here and hit save. Okay, you don't have to send the password to yourself or anything else. Just change your password that way. Okay, make sure you're enable signature on all outgoing messages. And right here is where you edit your signature. So right now, yours probably just has your name and multifamily investor on it, or multifamily sponsor, whatever you want to put on there. It doesn't matter. Whatever. Just know that in the paragraph above it in those emails, it's already got your email address, it's got your calendar link, and it's got your phone number. So you don't really need to give that information again inside your signature. Okay. And then here's where you can select your calendar. All right, but we'll cover calendars in a minute. Any questions on where to find your signature for that custom value? All right, now speaking of custom values, you can add more custom values if you want to. I have not added any new ones, but you can add new custom values here. All right. If you figure out something you want a custom value for that is consistent through your whole system. Okay, so that covers modifying workflows and modifying the email sequence. If you want to create new tags, if I go back to settings and I come down here to tags, I can create a new tag, just click new tag. Also, anytime you're in any section of the system and there is a place to add a tag, if the tag does not already exist, you type in the new tag you want and it will give you the option to add new tag, and that will automatically add it to your tag record. All right, so you don't have to come here to add tags. You can add them as you go when you realize, oh, this would be a great place for a tag. So you don't have to come in here to do that. But this is where they are all located, is in tags. Okay, any questions on tags or triggers? Man, we're flying right through this stuff. Okay. Calendar. So if we come here to calendars, you will notice you have a calendar. But the calendar has not been set up. So before you come in and set up the calendar, you need to come down to settings. You need to go to integrations. And you need to integrate. If you are on Google and you're using Google's calendar as your primary calendar, you need to integrate whatever Google account that is with your AcquisitionPRO account. And what that will do is that will integrate your calendar with your Google Calendar. And when you select two-way sync, which you'll see here in a second in the, here, let's see, which one do I want? Let's use this one. Allow. I don't use calendar on this. This is my spam email. I've had this email address. Oh my good Lord. How long's Google been around? It was the very first email address I ever created. I was a helicopter mechanic. So the email address is Copter Doctor 45. You guys get it? Copter Doctor. They used to fix helicopters. You know, doctors fix people. Yeah, I know it ain't that funny. You don't have any connected businesses under this account. I don't care. It's not what I want it for. Okay, so now my Google account is connected. So now I can go to calendars and I can set my calendar up. All right, so I have a 20-minute Zoom here, even though it says 30-minute. I just come here and I hit edit. If you want to upload your logo, you can. So let's see. Images. Let's use that one. Is it that one? No, that one. Open. Okay. Here is your link. You're going to want to clean this up. You don't want all this crap on the end of it. So you'll find that it's got to be unique to everything else in AcquisitionPRO, unfortunately. So this was built kind of off of ClickFunnels, and ClickFunnels was the same way. So here I can say your 20-minute meeting. And if you have a Zoom, then you can, let's see, will it pull that up? This might be in the way. It is. Let me see if I can get my home. Where's my meetings? That's what we were just on. Yeah, I can't get my personal one from here. But what I could do is show meeting invitation. I just want to get a Zoom link. There we go. I will copy this, minimize that, and I can put my meeting location right there. So now they have the actual meeting ID for this. Okay. And then go to availability. Let's go back to meeting details. Good. Nothing was lost. Now, this is when you're available. So here's an interesting thing with this. If you're going to be available the same time every day of the week, so let's say I'm only available from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. and I'm that on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I'm going to copy to all. Then on Tuesday, I'm not available, and Thursday I'm not available. So that is a fast way, that copy all, to set everyone. Let's say on Wednesday you're only available till 1, then just change that one date. Do your copy all first and then just change the one. Okay, make sense? It's probably not going to be a recurring meeting. We'll do 20-minute. Well, I do 30-minute intervals so that it won't schedule anything in that 10 minutes. Meeting scheduling notice. I like to do at least one day out. Date range. So you can set a maximum number of days that they can book out. So 7's probably pretty good because people won't show up beyond that. 5's even better than 7. Maximum number of bookings per day, and then maximum bookings per slot. Obviously, we want 1, and then the buffer time in our case is 10 minutes. So you could set this to 20 and buffer it 10 minutes, and it should do the same thing. Okay. Forms and payment, you're not really having anybody pay for this. You can change this information if you want to and put in your Facebook Pixel ID if you wanted to do that. Auto confirm new calendar meetings. If that is unselected, you'll have to manually confirm them or let it auto confirm. Select the type, acknowledgement email. Who should receive this notification? The contact. Allow Google Calendar. Yes, so you definitely want to allow that if you're using Google. Connections, link to calendar. So here's my calendar that I just linked it to, and I want Smart Sync, meaning if I've got a meeting already in Google Calendar, it will not double schedule it. All right, any customization you want to put in here. This is custom CSS code. You guys aren't going to know anything about any of that. Allow reschedule of the meeting, allow canceling of the meeting, and then this gives those links if you allow that. Okay, once you're done, hit save, and that's it. Your calendar is now set up. So if somebody clicks on your calendar and schedules an appointment with you, you will then end up seeing that on your Google Calendar if that's where you have it. So if I come down here and I get copy scheduling link and I paste it here, there is obviously my aspect ratio wasn't very good on my logo, but you can see where I have Monday, Wednesday, and Friday of next week. Remember, I'm only allowing them to schedule 7 days out. So all they can see is next week. They can't see any further than that. So when I set that max range at 7 days, that's what that means. Okay. If you don't have anything in there, it'll default to your whole calendar. All right. But it's showing exactly, and it's doing it didn't give me that 10-minute buffer. It's doing every 20 minutes. So I'd go back in that case and I'd hit it for 30 minutes because I don't want it. I don't want them to be able to schedule every 20 minutes. I want that 10-minute buffer. Okay. Any questions on the calendar?
Yeah, David, in the calendar details, where'd you get the ID code from Zoom? Where do you
I got it from Zoom.
is that where do you access that?
So if you're in Zoom,
Yep.
then you'll have all your meetings.
Okay.
So what I do is I go to my personal room and I'll use that link right there.
Okay, cool.
And I'll just copy that link.
Yep. Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you. That's what I need to know.
Oops. We're here. Any other questions about the calendar? All right.
And then you could create multiple calendars for the different types of meetings and different lengths and stuff. Yeah.
Yep, that's correct. You absolutely could. All right.
Is that groups relevant next to the calendar?
Because you can create other users to be on this calendar as well so that you don't have to hold all the appointments.
Oh.
And it can round robin them, meaning whoever's next in line will get the next scheduled appointment. This becomes more important when you're like with me selling software where you have to do demos or onboardings. Then that becomes really important as you grow. For you and the other companies, you're probably holding the appointment yourself with that investor because you don't want it to get screwed up. So you don't really need to worry about groups. You create a group when you have multiple people that are utilizing the same calendar. And again, you can create it where it's a round robin so that the next person in line will get the next scheduled appointment.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Let's go look at the newsletter template. So if I go to marketing, and I come up here to email and I go to templates, you will find in your account that you have an investor newsletter. How cool is that? I bet you guys didn't even know I put that in there, did you? So if I want to edit it, I click edit, the little pen or pencil always means edit. So here is the template that I provided. Nice little template. Okay. This template could be used for just sending a monthly newsletter about what's going on with your company. It could also be used if you have an offering and you want to send that offering to your email list based on where you've qualified them on the type of offering you have, whether it's 506B, 506C. So if it's a C, you can only send it to accredited investors. And so the people that are in your accredited investor smart list are the ones you would send it to. If it's a 506B, then you would send it only to the people that are in the qualified investors smart list. So modifying it is very, very simple. So here's the logo. So if I want to change the logo, I just click on it. There's the image. I can click edit image. I can create that image using AI. I don't recommend doing that. Or I can upload it from the media library. Well, I don't seem to have anything in here right now. So let's see. Do I have anything in relocated items? I do not. Let's go back home. Upload file. And let's grab my handy dandy AcquisitionPRO again, double click on it, and boom, I now have my logo in there. It's that simple. Okay. So this is using the custom values. So location email, it's already there, although it's missing a bracket. I don't know why it's missing the bracket. Where's the bracket? It's right there. It was missing a bracket. That was interesting. Location phone, so your email and phone will show up. You don't have to edit this. It will pull it automatically and put it in there. Put in some kind of headline. Again, it's a hook. You want to capture their attention, and then some kind of subhead. Here's just an image that I pulled from an OM. This was on The Point, which was, 192 units in Huntsville, Alabama. ARA Newmark, some friends of mine were selling this property. I actually went and toured this property for one of our strategic partnering members when I was up in Huntsville a year or so ago, a couple years ago. Just some stuff you like about the deal. I even put some bullets in here that would make sense. You could put more content in here if you want to. Just put placeholders in there. More information about the market itself, along with my multifamily demographic infographic that I like to pull from Site to Do Business. And then again, here is your logo. So same thing, just click on it and edit, upload, double click, boom, there she is. Oh, I don't want, not going to go pull I have one with transparent background, but I'm not going to put it on there. And then everything that is in the custom values. So there's your signature, your email, your phone again, and then you can create links here. So I can highlight this, come up here, put in a link and say, which one was that? YouTube, HTTPS, youtube.com and save. Okay, so that is now linked. So you can put your, and you can replace this with icons and do all kinds of things. It's a very easy template to use. Whatever you're clicked on is what will show up here, and here is where you do all of your editing inside here. You can rename the template up here if you want to rename it. This is also where you would set your email templates. We were asking about that before, Mike. So if you have an 8 email sequence, you would need 8 templates, unfortunately. And each email would be inside. So you can create the one template, start duplicating that one template, and then put all of the emails in there, and then just rename them all individual. Investor email sequence -1, investor email sequence -2, -3, -4. And so when you were selecting template, when we were in editing that email, you would select investor email sequence -1 would be the first one. That's how you could do that. But it complicates the process. And again, the cleaner it is, the better chance they have of getting it in their inbox. You can edit the background. So you just click any of these sections. So you notice you have an entire section. I can even move the section. Maybe I want it down here. Now it's gone. It's not up there anymore. Where'd it go anyway? Oh, there it is. So now I can grab it and bring it back up to the top again. Oh, didn't quite get to the top. Let's pull this one down. Seems to be easier to pull one down. Right. There it is. Boom. That's where I want that one. Okay. So you can move things around. And then this down here, don't touch this stuff down here. This is required by CAN-SPAM and is not really templated. I just leave this alone. You can change the background color if you want. So click on it, and that's the padding. There we go. Well, it says green, but that's definitely not green. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, these are the different sections. Edit the section. I'm not sure about the blue. Oh, nope, that's the blue I just created. That's very interesting.
I think if you hit that one below that color, select pattern. think
Oh, the
that's
pattern. Yeah,
yeah.
possibly. Oops. I keep hitting the wrong one. There we go. Oh yeah, there it is. Yeah, because it's a transition color. So, yep, good call. See, I don't know everything. All right. So that's the newsletter template. And I'm not going to save any of that. Any questions on the newsletter template? All right. Now we get to the hard one. But it's almost the same. So if we come down to sites, you have landing pages. So if we click on this, here is your landing page, which is just a basic landing page, and the download page, which has the download built into it. And for this one, I did not create a video for this. I had intention of creating a video for it, but I've gotten really too busy and I have not created a video for it. You can just pull the video out or create the video yourself. The importance of the video is to show them how to use whatever it is you're giving them. Trust me, nobody does this. It is extremely powerful. It builds credibility and it builds trust with the prospect because they've probably never seen anybody do that before. Normally, they're just downloading the thing. The other thing it does is at the end of the video, it allows you to have a call to action to click on the calendar button below to schedule an appointment with you. Okay. But the download link already has the sponsor vetting checklist built into it so they can download it. So all this is built out. It's just kind of ugly right now. But before we click on it, let's go back to this up here in settings. Here's where you can set your information about both pages. This is the global part. You're naming this section investor leads. You can change this name to whatever you want. Here is the path. So it would be whatever your domain is. And that's why I added section 4 or session number 4 is next week. We're actually going to go in. I'm going to show you how to buy a domain. I'm going to go buy a domain. I'm going to spend some money. I'm going to go buy a domain I don't need. And then I'm going to show you how to create an email address from that domain and then how to bring that email address into AcquisitionPRO as well as into Google if you're utilizing Google for all of your email addresses. And it will be your name at yourcompanyname.com, not a Gmail address. So once we have that domain name, that's what goes in front of this. So acquisitionpro.io/investor-leads. It'd be HTTPS, but that's beside the point. If you have a favicon, you could put it here. And then once you have your domain, you come up here and you select that domain. Now, obviously, this is a dummy account. It does not have a domain associated with it, but I will, once we add the domain, I'll show you how this works next week where you can add that in here. It won't be in this specific account. It'll be in a dummy account. All right. But you want to do that here. Then any stats that you get from your page will sit right here. All right. Notice it looks, if you're familiar with ClickFunnels, it looks just like ClickFunnels. So this was copied verbatim from ClickFunnels. So if you're familiar with ClickFunnels, you'll have no problem creating these landing pages. All right. So to edit the landing page, I go edit page. Let it pull up. And it's just drag and drop. It's real easy stuff. So any of the components themselves will be over here to the left. Any of these up here will be over here to the right. And I'll show you how to use this up here when we get to the other page. So this headline, I wrote this headline. This is actually a really stinking good headline. You are absolutely welcome to change it. I am not married to it, and you will not offend me if you change it. A lot of people think, well, if everybody has the same headline and the same lead magnet, trust me, you guys are not reaching out to the same people. The chance of Greg and Mike crossing investors is very, very, very slim, depending on the target market that you're looking at, because we should be targeting investors that we connect with on a personal level. So if Greg is an engineer Greg should be reaching out to engineers or CEOs of engineering companies, somewhere he can connect. If Mike was a nurse practitioner, then Mike would be connecting with doctors and medical device professionals, things like that, because he speaks that language. Okay, does that make sense? That's who we want to connect with, people that we have a deeper understanding with and that we actually speak their language. So use it or don't. It's up to you. Don't care. Just change the information. Just type in here. So if it's text, you can type in here. Not a big deal. This form, I will show you in the next section how to use the form. The form is created in forms. As a matter of fact, let me just go back real quick, because one good thing about AcquisitionPRO is we can open multiple tabs and play around. So to make it a little clearer, if it will pop up, there we go. Here's sites. So forms, builder, open a new tab, back to funnels on this one, back to investor leads, edit. Okay, so while that's pulling up, this is also pulling up. Okay, so here's forms. So this is the one for the Linktree website. This is the one for the landing page. So if we click on this one, here's that form I created. It's just a basic form. You can put a lot of graphics to this if you wanted to. You could put a background image. You can do all kinds of things. You do all that from over here. So here we can add form elements. And over here, we can do styles and options. All right. So here's background color, borders, padding, colors for shadow, color for font. So all your styling is here. The form elements are here. Now, if you want to add phone, and there's a problem with this right now, and I've already got a ticket into the creators of the software on fixing this. If we put in phone, which is a sore subject at the moment, but if I drag this in and I bring in phone, it will automatically pull in, I agree to terms and conditions provided by the company. This has to be here, and you've got to be able to select that. Here's the problem with this. If we hover over this, if you look in the very bottom left corner, do you see where the URL pops up right above my Windows thing in the very bottom? It's showing https://example.com. That's not where our terms and conditions is located. So up here is where we can edit this information. So I can say my cell number, and it changes in here. The problem is, if I want to change this, it is a link. Well, there's the link right there. Now I'm wondering, oh, you know what? Good Lord. I'm an idiot. Everybody say, David, you're an idiot. Either type it in the chat or say it out loud. Say it with me. David, you're an idiot. So this looks like a paperclip. What does a paperclip mean? Paperclip means it's an attachment. I didn't even click on this. I was clicking on this. This means to break the link. So boom, now the link's broken. You can't click on it. Well, if I do this and I click this, and why did I not try this before? Ugh, I get myself sometimes. Anyway, now I can put in my URL. So my path, honestly, well, that was weird. I can just go slash, because I don't have my URL yet, but this works the same. Anything after the first slash. So everything before the first // after the HTTPS and the 2 forward slashes. So between that and the first // that's your domain. And then you have the first slash, and then everything after that are folders and subfolders, or directories and subdirectories. So we want to create a file in the first subdirectory, and we're just going to call it terms conditions, and you'll see why I'm doing that soon enough, and hit confirm. Oh, you're going to play that game. All right. Well, it won't let me do that. All right. So I will put in my HTTPS strategic acquisition method.com / I think it's just terms. Strategic acquisition method.com confirm. Oh, look, a rainbow. Did I do it right? Nope. Oh, it went homepage terms. Oh, that was interesting. So what is it? It is terms. Oh, www. That's why. Aha. So let's do that again. I always forget that. There we go. Confirm. Save. Open link in new tab. There it is. Terms of use. See? So that is how you change it. I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. All right. Never mind. No problem. But you guys see how that worked? I just pulled it phone over and it automatically brought that in there. All right. If I didn't do that, it wouldn't have done it. If you want that in here anyway for your email, you can change it to say the same thing for email. Then you can also drag it from right here and it'll do the exact same thing. Now, because it's already there, it won't do it again. Okay. So that's how we create the form. So we just create the form. We name the form. So where you would name the form is over here, come to options. And here's where we name the form. This is also where when somebody submits, click here to download, it'll take them to that landing page, that thank you page. So once you put your URL in there, so this then becomes, I don't need that anymore. Where'd it go? Oh, yeah. So then it becomes, let's come out. Oh, Mary Lou's here. Let it open, 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 open. Settings, right there, investor leads. So Control C, come back to here. Control V, but it needs that URL once you get the URL in there. Okay. So that's how you can modify the form. And again, that form is for right here on the sponsor vetting checklist. So the other thing you can do in here if you want to is you can make it pretty. I talked about the different padding, colors, things like that you can do to it. If I click, these are all the different sections. This is global. I'll show you this in a second. Settings should be background. I could put an image URL in here. Let me upload a file. Let's see. We'll just put this in there. It'll look crazy as heck, but boom. So there's my background image. And of course, you can give it opacity, high fade. We can even put a color on top of it. We can make it transparent. We can make it gray, make it black. You can do whatever you want with it. Okay. That actually doesn't look too bad, but if it wasn't for that. So the other thing I can do is, hold on, where's full center fade? Oh, come back here. If I didn't want it, I just hit undo. Really, if you hit undo, it's supposed to undo it. And it's not working. Redo, undo, 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 undo. Isn't that nice? All right, the undo's not working at the moment. Maybe it's because I need to come out of it. Nope, not working. All right. So back to settings, background. Just delete it if you don't want the image in there. Back to white. And it's back the way it was. And if you want something in there, it's there. That matches my branding. So we'll just leave that. Okay. But maybe down here, you want it to be white or whatever color you want it to be down there. And just like before, to change the logo, same thing. Just find where the image is, go to the library, double click, and boom, you got your logo. Anytime there's text, like I said before, just put your text in there. And then, of course, there's your privacy policy and terms. Don't really worry about those right now. And then you can change all this information as well. Just click in there. 251-508-0010. David at Monroe CCIM.com. And Mobile, Alabama. Mobile backwards do Yankee. All right, now see what happened? See how my .com got convoluted? It scrunched it because it wasn't long enough, that section. That's really easy to fix. Just grab the section in front of it and stretch it until boom, now it is. Okay? So you can stretch these columns. It's really easy to do. Just grab it and stretch it back and forth, and it's really easy to do. Now, what's really cool is if I save this, and I'm not going to because this is our snapshot and I don't want to screw it all up. If I save this, it will also save it to the other thank you page, because when it's purple like this, that means it's a global setting, and we set our global settings up here. So if I go to manage, I promise you can do global settings. There we go. Global sections. So there's my footer template. Okay. So that's how you do that. Any questions on the landing page? Again, you make it nice. I mean, this one's obviously ugly. You can come in here and you can make it pretty. You could put going back to the form, and we may even be able to do it here. Let's see. Advanced. No, we can put in some CSS, but you guys don't want to do CSS. If you go back to the form, you can put a border around it. Like if I go to styles, there was a border. So if I want a radius bigger than 4 pixels, let's say I want 20 pixels. See, now it's nice and rounded. And I want my border to be solid. I want my border pixel to be 4. Yeah, that's looking good. Maybe I want my background to be a little grayer than this. Ooh, that's ugly. Yeah, border looks good. So now it's got some depth to it. Let me see if we've got shadow. So let's how much shadow do I? Oh, I don't have any horizontal or vertical. So let's go 5. Ooh. And 3. And change this to maybe a gray. Put some transparency in it. Anyway, giving it some depth. Hit save. So now when we come back here, I want to come out of this because I don't want to save any of this information that I already have on here. But you'll notice when we come back in that it will have depth now. Takes a little longer because we're on Zoom. All right, so now if I come back to edit page, now we should have that depth in there because we saved it. There it is. Now it has that depth. Okay, so that's really easy to do, makes it look nicer and cleaner. All right. So that's how we do all that. And it, nope, didn't save anything. Good. Any questions on the opt-in page? Now I'll show you on the thank you page while I'm waiting for questions. Hey, Mary Lou. All right, so if I go to the sponsor checklist, so if they put in their name and email, it automatically sends them here to the sponsor checklist download. So if I click edit page, the one thing I want to do is I want to remove the video frame, but I don't want to delete it. I don't want to delete it because I might want to use it later. So if I come up here to elements and I manage elements, there's the video. If I click this little eyeball, say goodbye to the video. But now we have this really basic, ugly looking thank you page. It works. Now you're going to want to take away the sentence that says, watch the video, because you just took away the video. But other than that, it works. Okay. And if I would have saved, notice it's purple. If I would have saved the last page, the footer would have been modified automatically. All right. So that's really now the download. So we click the button, come all the way to the bottom. Here's the link for them to download it. And you can change it into other locations. You can put it into a next step, a one-click upsell, a call, SMS, email, membership. You can open a pop-up, do all kinds of things. We're just putting in a URL. And again, it could be the URL from my server, or if you want to create a new lead magnet and upload it the way I showed you earlier, then you just put that link in here. Okay. That's really it for the thank you page. They don't go anywhere else but here. They will also get that download on their first email, because when they filled that form out, it triggered the investor email sequence. So they'll get this download. So if this page is just that too ugly for them and they don't want to see this, they'll get the email within a few minutes and they'll still be able to download that sponsor vetting checklist. All right. So that's we call it a funnel, a landing page to a thank you page with something in between. And there's so many different combinations that you can do with that. But for our purposes, we want to send traffic to the sponsor checklist. We want to send it here so that they will give us their contact information so we can start to build a relationship with them. Okay. If I come back to now websites, there's two things here. There's connect with and there's homepage. I'm going to show you the homepage first, and then we're going to live on connect with for a minute. I'm just going to show you the homepage because for whatever reason, everybody's been conditioned to believe that you have to have a website. Well, this is me rolling up the bullshit flag. You do not have to have a website. People today are tired of seeing the same thing over and over and over and over. And everybody's websites look the same, especially in the real estate world. So the template's here. The way we modified the landing page and the thank you page is the exact same way you modify here. Identical. And even the footer's global. So if you change anything in the footer, it will change the footer on every one of these pages. All right. We're not going to go into it. I just want to show you that this is here. Now, I'll give you an idea what it looks like. It's a nice, clean design. It looks really nice. And it's up to you whether you want a website or whether you want a link tree template, which I think is more powerful. All right. So much so that if we go back to our websites and we click on connect with, okay, so now it's just a way to contact you, a privacy policy and terms. These are two of the most important pages you must have. You can't do email campaigns without them. You can't do phone campaigns without them or anything else. You got to have these pages. But it's just this nice, clean design. So if I come up, and same way we did the other one, just come up here to settings and you want to set your domain for it. Once you have your domain, you can change the name. So it would be, instead of connect with, it'd be connect with your company name or your name. All right. So just to show you that I put my money where my mouth is here, or that I practice what I preach, if I go to davidmonroeccim.com, which is my primary website, there you go. That's it. That's my website. I took down that massive looking monstrosity and replaced it with something just really simple. They have a way they can see who I am, picture of me. They can join my free off-market club if they want to. They can send me a text. They can send me an email. They can download my free quick value calculator. They can connect with me on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. And they can read my privacy policy and my terms. They don't need to know anything else. They don't want to know anything else. All they want to know is, how can I connect with this person? That's it. That's all they care about. They are not going to go read your about us on your website. They are not going to go read about your portfolio on your website. They don't care. They don't have time. And it's all about you. It's nothing about them. So here, at least, they can connect with us. And we're giving them value as well as a chance to connect with us. All right. So I absolutely live by this. A company called Linktree actually created these templates. And you can go to linktree.com and build a template if you want to, or we just have it right here in Acquisition Pro. So you have your own domain and not a Linktree subdomain, because then it just looks ugly. Okay. So that is here. And this is like really take you 20 or 30 minutes and you're done. This is so simple to edit. So if we come to the page, it's just like everything else. What you click into is what comes up over here. All right. So first, let's get rid of what we don't want. And notice I've already built in the sponsor vetting checklist. It's already here. So you guys don't have to worry about that. And that where it says click here to download, that thank you page that we were just looking at, that's what this takes them to, that thank you page. Okay. So this is really easy. So if I click the image, I can come down and I can put in my image. So I can come in here and grab my image, which would be here. And up. Not Google Drive. There we go. David images. Let's grab that one. Hit open. Double click. Boom. Kind of ugly. So if I go to advanced, I want to put a radius. I want it to be circle. I want a border around it. So I want a dark thumbnail border. And I want, let's see. There was one that was white. Why isn't... Well, we may be able to change it over there. So let's do a, let's see, bottom light shadow, give it some depth. Image full color, good. So we don't want any opacity. I can make my image bigger, smaller. So if I want height, I can say 250 and make it huge. If I get rid of the 110, it should aspect ratio it. Perfect. Maybe I want 125, make it a little small. Yeah, that looks fine. We don't want anything. If they clicked on image, we could send them to a URL, or we can open a pop-up if they clicked on the image, but we don't need any of that. Okay, name, pretty simple. Just type in there. And well, let's just do this. Okay, schedule a meeting. I can come down, URL. So now I can go to hit back, go to calendars, settings, click my three little dots, get my scheduling link, copied to clipboard, come to Acquisition Pro, come down, double click on this, Control V, paste that in, open a new tab. Now I got my calendar button, send me a text, put in my phone number. Now, if you have a Acquisition Pro phone number, you want to put that in here. Only if you're A2P compliant. If you're not A2P compliant, do not touch text with a 10-foot pole. We'll be covering that in a later training. So that covers that one. That one's done already. And these other ones, so I can come down here and I can go, oops, I don't want the whole thing. But you guys have already seen this. Don't really have to do much here. But you can see how fast it is to modify these things. Privacy policy and terms should already be set up. You shouldn't have to touch those. But I don't want this video here. So if I come up here to elements at the top, click manage. Okay, there's the video. So I'll hide the video. Maybe I want another button. So I can come up here. Well, before I do that, I don't have Instagram or TikTok. So I can just find, notice it highlights it, button, hide it, button, hide it. Now I have those. So now I can go here. I can click on YouTube, come down, website URL, and paste in my YouTube channel's URL. Same thing for Facebook, same thing for LinkedIn. All right. If I want another button, all I have to do is duplicate it. And maybe on this one, so now because it's in a button, I got to come over here to the text. And instead of send me a text, join my free community. Off Market Club or something like that. Okay, you can make it a little more nicer than it looks. So we got spacing, shadow. Let's go to advanced, full width, effects, shadow, custom, intent, inherent. Here we go. Border width, radius. That's what I'm looking for. Maybe we want it a little bit more. Notice now it's nice and round. And we can give it shadows and all kinds of stuff. Where's the border width? Solid, let's say 3. And white. White didn't really show up. Ooh, that was that background color. Anyway, you guys get the idea. Oh, there's the background color of that. Okay, so we can, and now it shows the white. So now it gives it a little bit of depth. Okay, so that's how easy it is to change this. All right, I would make this your primary website. And even if you want a big honking thing like this, make this your primary website while you build this out. Okay, because would that take me 15 minutes to create this whole thing? I mean, it's that simple. All right, now I'm not going to save any of this because, again, it's our template. So I'm just going to leave out of that. Any questions about how to edit and modify your Connect with Linktree website?
Hi, David. That looks good. I'm just wondering, I noticed you had a privacy policy and terms and conditions. I guess we would just need to go through there and put our own company name.
Yes.
Yes.
That's actually next on the list.
Okay. Oh, perfect. Thank you.
So this privacy policy and terms, they're already linked down here. So if you go here into settings, you'll see there's the privacy policy. Same thing with terms. So if we hit edit, on the privacy policy, there are 14 instances where you have to change your company name. So you just highlight your company name, copy it. Copy is Control C on a PC. It is Command C on a Mac. And then Control F on a PC, Command F on a Mac will pull up the find function. And then Control V is in Victor or Command V as in Victor will paste it in here. Notice there are 14 instances. So you need to change your company name with your actual company name on these 14 areas. There's one that does not show up, and that is right here. As a matter of fact, I'm going to change this right now. Your company name, so that it does in the future. And I am going to save this before I do anything else. Save. Okay. That's been a thorn in my side. So now if I do it, now 15 show up. Okay. Just change those to your company name. At the very bottom, there are 2 instances of your email address. Change those email addresses to your email address. Obviously, it's going to be your name at yourcompanyname.com after you go get your domain name and create your email address, which we're going to do next week. In the footer, notice it's purple. Okay. So because it's purple, it's a global setting. So all you have to do is change the footer and modify it for your information on one page, either the privacy policy or the terms, and it will change it on the other one automatically after you save it. So you only have to do it once. That's the privacy policy. That's easy. Well, terms is even easier, because in terms, where your company name is, you got to change it once. And then the remaining part of the document, everywhere where your company name is mentioned, it just says company. And it says to do that inside terms. It's kind of a little cleaner with terms. So you'll notice at the top when this comes up. And depending on where you live, you may want to find out, because like California has some other kind of mandatory thing that has to be it's either in your terms or conditions or your privacy policy. You need to find out what that is and add that to your terms and conditions or your privacy policy, whichever one. So you'll notice that this website, known as the site through the whole document, operated by, here's your company name. From now on, company, we or us. So your company name is only done once in terms. And then all the way at the bottom, you want to make sure that you change your state. So under, where is, somewhere in here, you have to change your state. Yeah, it's in this section right here, limitation of liability. So find where it says your state and replace it with your state. And there's another part of it that says your county. So you just have to replace that. And I don't think it's on the privacy, but I'd check the policy just to make sure. Oh, there it is. State of, your state, your county, your state. So that needs to be modified. Your company name here needs to be modified. And then your address. Now, here's the deal. If your only physical address for your company is your home, sorry about your luck. It's mandatory. You must have the company's physical address there. I would recommend either going and paying for a shared office space so you can get a physical mailing address that you can send mail to, or a PO box or something like that. If you have an LLC, that's easy. Use your address for your registered agent if it's different than your home. Okay. If that's all you have is your home address, guys, I'm sorry, but you got to put your home address here. This is mandatory by law. You have to have it. And then, of course, the 2 places for your email address as before. Okay. So that's it on terms. Really easy. And again, if you modified privacy first in the footer, all this will change automatically once you saved it. Okay. Any questions about the privacy and the terms? Now, before you decide you want to register for A2P, and right now none of you can register for A2P, but when you want to register for A2P because you want to do SMS messaging, these 3 things: you have to have a form, you have to have a privacy policy, and you have to have a terms and conditions. These must be in place before you register or you will fail every time. All right. I have understood that part of the process. This is the number one reason people are failing, because the information that they're providing the federal government is not matching their websites. All right. So that's mandatory. Any questions about anything we've covered today? I actually got through all of it. I said maybe an hour and a half. No? All right. Well, except for, well, 50% of you are already here, 50% of you aren't. If this was too much, and this is a lot, and you don't think you can do this on your own, or you don't have time to do it on your own. Now, again, Ivan, Sareda and Jesus and Mary, you guys don't have to worry about this. You're already good. For Corinne, Greg, and Mike, if you guys want me to do 95% of this for you, there's still some stuff you have to do on your own because it is your company, and I can't do some of the things within like your domain provider, stuff like that. But I literally walk you through step by step everything you do on one-to-one calls for the first few months. And then every week we do a group meeting as well, separate from the Tech Tuesday. So if you guys want to be part of that, it is a $10,000 program. You don't have to pay it all at once. It can be monthly for 12 months. I like it a little quicker than that, but it isn't about what I like. It's whether you need it or want it or not. So I'm just going to put the link to my calendar. I want to have a conversation with you first to make sure that this is going to work for you, because some people think it will, but it really won't. And I also want to make sure that it does not stretch you financially, because that is not something I want to do to anybody. Never have, never will. So I put the link in the calendar. So you, and I don't have any availability next week, so it'll be the week after. Next week's calendar is already full. But if you guys want to have a conversation about me doing this for you, then click that link and get a time on the calendar. There is a questionnaire as soon as you're done with the calendar. Please fill out that questionnaire if you have not filled it out yet from a previous call, because I do need to see kind of where you are. Thank you, Ivan. Appreciate you, buddy. All your stuff's done. You don't have to worry about any of this stuff. All right. Well, so that said, don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. There we go. All right. Homework. Modify your workflows. Modify your email sequence. Add and or modify your tags and triggers. Modify your calendar. Modify your newsletter template. Modify your landing page, legal pages, and your website. Don't forget your forms as well. And create a new lead magnet if you don't want the one that's been created already. What I'd recommend is download the lead magnet so you can see what it looks like. Just go to your landing page and just download it. That link works. So just right-click, save as, and take a look at it. It's just a checklist on vetting sponsors is what it is for private investors or passive investors, accredited investors, whatever you want to call them, non-accredited investors.